I am very, very happy to be here today, spending some time together with all of you, because I am hoping that today is going to be a very special day for all of you. I want to be this day not only a better life day, but the best day in your life. Thank you. You can make this day a very, very important day. How? How can you do that? We speakers are coming in here with a lot of love for you all. We don't know you, but we know that you are making the sacrifice to be here today because you are looking for something. You are looking for answers. You are looking for information. You are looking for skills. You are looking for something that is going to change your life, that is going to transform your life. And because we know that, we are so happy to be able to maybe say something that is going to do just that for you. The speakers, we are going to talk about all kind of different things. And I know some speakers are going to say something that is going to touch your heart. Take it seriously. When you leave today, when you go home today, this evening, think about those things that you heard today here that is going to touch your life, your heart, and is going to make a big difference in your life. What I am going to say, what I am going to share with you today has to do with controlling anger. I don't know about you, but anyone here that maybe, just maybe, has problems with anger in your relationships? Anybody at all? Oh my God, I know. Let me tell you what. The two most favorite topics among most of the people are two: sex and anger. What I am talking to you today, I have done this many times in the past. And all the time that I am asking to see if anybody will raise your hand about having anger problems, almost 70, 80, 90% of people will say, yes, I do. And those who don't raise their hands, I don't know, maybe they're lying, maybe they're not telling the truth about something else in their life too. Because we all have anger problems at one point or another. Little problems, big problems. And I am here today to tell you very simple, very practical ways to control anger. But let me tell you this first. In our society, we have been brainwashed about many different things. And one of the things that we are being brainwashed is about, for something to be good, it has to be expensive. For something to be good, has to be complicated. So when we hear things which are not very expensive, which are not very complicated, we might tend to think, oh, maybe it's not that effective, it's not that good, it's not that important. That is wrong. And I will tell you why. I'm going to tell you very simple, not complicated, but very simple ways of how to handle anger. But they are so simple that you can be confused. You might say, oh, is that all? Is that all that I need to do? Is that going to help me to control anger? Yes, it will. Believe me. What I'm going to tell you, I have been telling people all over the world. All over the world. First time here in Greece, but all over the world. And when they put it into practice, it works. It works. Even if it is very simple, even if it is non-expensive. You know what? In my medical office, I am a psychiatrist. In my medical office, I charge individually for patients to come to hear the same things that I'm going to tell you today. Something like 500 to 600 euros for each hour. This is common in the United States. It's not a whole lot. And you're going to hear the same things for much, much less. But don't think that because it's not so expensive, it doesn't work. Because it does work. So listen to what I am going to be saying, and especially put it into practice. What is anger? Anger has been defined as an emotional response to an injury, real or imaginary injury that we think has been done against us. What causes anger? What are the reasons why people get angry? Many explanations, none of them it's totally valid. All of them are important. People get angry because of expectations. Have you noticed that? When you have expectations about how someone needs to behave or think or talk, and they don't do it that way, the way you want them to be, because your expectation is different than the way they are thinking, talking, or behaving, then we get frustrated, we get angry, we get irritable. So expectations from others can be very often cause for anger. And there are so many other things. Too much noise. When we are in an environment with a lot of noise all the time, or a lot of light all the time, that can make people irritable or angry. When we have a lot of stress, we just heard before the break this wonderful presentation about stress, and oh my God, what is that, stress? No, okay. That's fine. You know, we live lives so full of stress, so many worries, anxieties, and tensions that we are all the time reacting in an angry way because there is a lot of stress in our lives. Also, when we have some psychiatric conditions like anxiety or depression, we can be angry. A lot of people who are very nasty, very angry, very rude, it's because they are depressed. They're feeling sad. There is something inside of them that is making them feel sad. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time into causes of anger, but I'm going to go right into what can we do? What can we do to control anger? Many things we can do, and I will share with you a few of them. Communication and humor. Let me start by those two. Most of the time, we get angry not so much because of what people are saying to us, but by the way things are said. Let me repeat that again. We get angry not because of what people are saying to us, but because the way people are saying something to us that is irritating, that generates some anger. So one of the first things that we need to learn to not cause anger in other people is to be very careful about the way how we say things. Be very mindful about how we talk to other people. Because sometimes we don't mean to hurt anyone or to offend anyone, but nevertheless, the way it comes out of our mouth sometimes can be offensive. And we didn't mean that. We didn't want to do that, but it happens. So communication is a very important thing about keeping in mind about not generating anger in other people. We could be talking the whole day here about communication. Unfortunately, I don't have the time, but I want you to keep that in mind. Be mindful. The way how you say things is more important than what you say. That is very important to keep in mind. Number 2, humor. Do you know that it has been researched, done, proving that those speakers who are trying to communicate messages, information to an audience, if they have good sense of humor, if they crack a joke here and there, they are more effective speakers, more effective communicators. Have you noticed how often some speakers, when they start giving a speech, they will start with a joke? Have you seen that before? Yeah, good, yeah. So this is very common. Why do they do that? Well, they have to do that to make people more relaxed. And they do that because as soon as you connect with someone else because of a good joke, sometimes the jokes are not that good. And then you might have a problem trying to gain them back, connect them back with you again. And that happens. I have seen that too sometimes. Speakers will go there with a joke. They are totally convinced it's a great joke and everybody's going to laugh at that. They tell the joke and nobody laughs. Oh my God, that is terrible because you feel lost. You don't know what to do then next to get them back. But anyway, good humor is very important. Now, I want you to know a little bit about me, so I'm going to share one story that happened when I was first married. I am happily married now. And at the beginning, like in any relationship in the world, any relationship at the beginning needs to go through a period of adjustment where you have a lot of tensions and a lot of difficulties that little by little, hopefully you will be able to work out and everything will be better. And that's what happened to me. In the first maybe year or second year, I think, of my marriage, I had an argument with my wife. She's sitting here in the audience. So I cannot tell you a lie about that story because she will pull my ears when we are finished. So what I'm going to tell you happened just like that. We had an argument, and I said something in the wrong way. You remember what I told you? It's not what you say, but the way how you say it. That's what happened to me. I didn't mean to offend her or make her angry, but it was the wrong way of saying things. So that was at night. Next day, we woke up, and I see her very quiet, like, I don't want to talk to you today. And I thought, uh-oh, I am in trouble here. And then when she's preparing coffee for breakfast, she turns around, and I see that she has a big sign here attached with something. I guess it was cello tape or something. She has that big sign that says very clearly, it says, let me show you what it says. Let me show you a slide that says that practicing silence is good, but not for that reason, because she was mad. So I thought, oh my God, I knew I was in trouble. Well, what can I do? So I had an idea. And I went to my office in my home, and I went to the computer, and I printed a second sign. I put it here on me, and I went back to the kitchen to show it to her. And this is what my slide said here. Maybe we can have the second slide, and you can see what I did, what I printed and put on myself. You know, when she saw that, she broke loose. She laughed, no more anger. She forgot about her, whatever was going on in her head, and we were okay for that day. And maybe for many other weeks. I don't know, I don't remember. But humor is very good to control other people's anger. Let me tell you about a few other ways about handling anger. I will need probably a volunteer. I don't know if there is someone I requested for a volunteer. But it has to be a male, and I was told that there was going to be a male sitting in the front row with a backpack. Is he here? Do you have? Oh, okay. Yeah, you have a backpack. Wonderful. Yeah, let's do that. Please come. Come with a backpack. Thank you. You are so helpful. Wonderful. Is it possible to have an extra? You got it. Wonderful. Very good. Nice to see you. What is your name, please?
Antonio.
This is Antonio, and this is going to be very quick. I'm just going to ask a few questions to Antonio. Antonio, it seems like you have something heavy here. What do you have there?
My camera. Well, actually, it's over there.
Okay, so now it's not so heavy. Let me ask you something. Do you carry your backpack all the time with you everywhere you go?
No.
Ah, okay. Well, how would you feel if I ask you something? How would you feel if I ask you, can you keep your backpack full of your camera and everything else really heavy, and you go to bed with it? Can you sleep well with your backpack?
Nope.
No, exactly. Well, maybe when you go to eat, can you eat well and have your backpack in your back?
No.
No. Oh, when you take a shower, can you take a shower with your backpack?
No.
No. You almost said yes, though. Okay. There has to be something that you can do with your backpack that will be okay. But anyways, let me do this. Do you think, and this is going to be my last question, do you think that taking your backpack off will be helpful for you to live a normal life when you go to bed, when you go to eat, when you go to take showers? Will that be helpful, taking it out?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. I will explain to you what is it that I am doing with Antonio. I'm going to let him go now because at this point he's thinking, what is he talking about? I'll tell you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. You know, I wanted his help to illustrate one point. Through life, we have gone through a lot of times when we were angry and we were resentful and we had not forgiven that person who did something to us. We are carrying a heavy backpack in our backs all the time, everywhere we go, full of junk, full of bad things, of the things that people did in the past to us. We go to eat, and we are thinking all the things that people did to us. We go to sleep at night, we cannot fall asleep because we are there, with the eyes wide open, thinking all the time about what happened. That is very, very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. Because anger can do a lot of bad things to our system. And let me talk to you a little bit as a doctor now. This is totally researched, totally confirmed. What I'm going to tell you, I'm not inventing that to scare you. It is true. People who are angry too much, too often, all the time, have a tendency to develop cancer. Yes, cancer. I'm not saying cancer is caused by anger, but I am saying angry people are more inclined, predisposed to have more easily cancer than those who are happy people without much anger. So we can develop cancer, we can develop high blood pressure, hypertension, high blood pressure can be developed because we are all the time angry. Cardiovascular conditions, heart problems because of too much anger. Anger lowers our cortisol level. You remember all the good things that we just heard before the break from the previous speaker about cortisol, the hormone cortisol, and stress levels and all of that? What happens is this. If we have too much stress, our immunity goes down. And when our immunity goes down, what happens is infections goes up. And having low immunity can be a problem for infections, can be a problem for cancer. So, just for healthy reasons, we need to take the things that we are carrying in our backpack. All of you have a backpack, believe me. Some of you have small backpacks with just a few resentments from the past. Some of you have a huge backpack that you have been carrying for so many years because someone did something to you that you cannot forgive. Never mind forget. So I'm going to ask you to do an exercise. I think it is on page 11, if you can take your book. It has two components. The first one is so-called the forgiveness exercise. Is it page 11? I'm not sure. 13, thank you. Yeah. So go to page 13, 1-3, and just do the first part. Don't do the second part with the summary or good practices to eliminate anger. Just do the first part. I'll give you a few minutes to do that, because after you do that, we will be going to do some other things. I want you to identify what is in your backpack. What is the anger that you are carrying from the past? What are the things that you are not capable of forgiving? And I'll give you a few minutes for that. Who did what? And why? Why they did it to you? 3 things from the past. Little ones or big ones. The bigger, the better. Just think about it without going into a lot of details. And then I want you to think about what can you do to take that out of your backpack, to make peace with that person. What can you do to be at peace in your own mind from today on? You are not going to keep rehearsing in your mind what they did to you. What can you do to stop that? To clean your backpack, to take out all the garbage that is there right now, that you don't need, and that you have been carrying around for a long time probably. What can you do? Just think a little bit about what can you do. And if you don't write it, because I can see from here that some of you are not writing at all, just looking at me, that's fine too. At least think about it. Even if you don't write it, just think about it. What was done to me, who did it to me, and why they did it to me. And now, what can I do to clean that? By when? It's not just, oh yeah, well, I guess I need to call so-and-so and talk to this person and say, well, you know, it's silly that we are not talking to each other anymore. Let's have a talk. That sounds good. But what about if you say, I'm going to do that by tonight, as soon as I get home, or maybe tomorrow, the sooner the better. Whatever you decide you want to do, put a date when you are going to do it. Because unless you make a commitment with a date, you know what? It will never happen. Unless you have a date, believe me, and I know very well why I am telling you this, unless you have a date, it will never happen. It's just a good wish to the universe. Oh, I hope we can talk again. Oh, yeah, we will talk again. We are not talking now for the past 3 years, 5 years, 2 months. Well, yeah, we will be okay and we will talk one of these days. It will never happen unless you take action, unless you decide to do something about it. So let me leave that in there, and let me go into a very, very good practice that I want to share with you too. What I am going to tell you now is so simple, but yet so powerful that you won't believe it. Say that there is something in your mind that you have been carrying with you for a long time that you cannot forgive, that for some reason you cannot really let it go. It's there all the time, bothering you. And you don't know how to get rid of that feeling of hurt, anger, depression. It's there, but you don't know how to get rid of it. I will tell you how. This is why I'm here today. It's very simple, but you have to do it. Unless you do it, it won't happen. This is what you need to do. Choose the most difficult forgiveness for you to do that you wrote in your book. You wrote 3. Hopefully you wrote 3. Or at least you thought about 3. Or at least 1. Or if you didn't think about anything, because sometimes I get this answer. Hey, Dr. Gomez, you know, I am a happy person. I really don't have any issues with anybody. I don't have anybody to forgive. Oh, really? From what planet are you coming? We all have issues. This is what we clearly call denial. People are in denial. They don't want to look at something. And you know what? When I see or hear that kind of comments, I know that it's a huge one somewhere that they are afraid to look into. So just think about one of those issues that you find very difficult to forgive and forget. And this is what you are going to do. This is what I'm going to ask you to do. It's very simple. It doesn't cost any money. If you have a mirror in your house and I am sure every house has a mirror, probably more than one, very likely. This is what I want you to do. As soon as you get home tonight, and please do it. Don't listen to me and think, oh, that sounds interesting, and then you do nothing. It won't work. Go home tonight, look at the mirror. Hopefully you are looking at yourself, because if you're looking at a different face, a different person, then you might need to see someone like me who specializes in psychiatry, because we call that visual hallucinations, when you are seeing things which are not there. But assuming that everybody's totally normal, mentally normal here, you see your face there, and this is what you're going to do. The real you is not going to be you anymore. You are going to be that person who did something to you. And you are going to tell the image in the mirror why you did it. For instance, let's say someone has been shouting at you, talking to you really bad. So you go there and you tell yourself why you are doing these kind of things. And you just keep talking. And you can say things like, well, I have been shouting at you because I am very stressed out. I never told you, but I think that I'm going to lose my job and we will have no income. And this is why I am so nervous and tense, and this is why I'm shouting at you. Or, I'm shouting at you because I am jealous. You are too flirtatious. Every man or every woman that comes around you, you are always flirting. I never told you that, but I don't like that. And this is why I shout at you instead of telling you what is bothering me. Or I am shouting at you because I really had a bad day today in the office. Whatever. Let me tell you what. By making an effort to be in the other person's shoes, trying to explain why other people did something to you, you will come up with a lot of good answers, a lot of good reasons why they are acting that way. And you know what will happen? And please believe me, because it will. And if you don't, that's fine too. Just do it, and then you will believe. That anger that you have been carrying with you for so long, once you try to explain why this has been done to you, will disappear, or at least will be reduced. It works. So try that tonight. Let me give you a few other tips, and those you can do anytime. One has to do with how anger travels in our body. Anger starts in our brain, in our mind, as a thought. Something that someone did to me. And I am really angry about that. And I'm not going to forgive. Actually, if I can get revenge, I will. I will do something to that person. As a thought, as an idea. And then from the brain, it travels to the eyes. Have you looked at the eye of someone really angry? They look so ferocious. And then from the eyes, it travels to the mouth. And then we say all kind of wrong things. Things that we don't mean, but because we are angry, we say it. And then from the mouth, it travels to our hands. And then sometimes we become physical. We throw things, or we punch people, or we do all kind of wrong things. So it is brain, eyes, mouth, hands. How can you stop that traveling? Listen, this is so simple that you are going to laugh. You know what you need to do? As soon as you get a very angry thought in your mind, just do this. Close your eyes very tight. Very tight. Does it make any sense? Is there any scientific explanation for that? I don't know. You remember the previous presentation? Why people on high oxytocin levels of hormones tend to lie more than others? We really don't know, but it's a fact. Research has shown that that happens. Same thing. You are angry, you close your eyes very, very tight for a few seconds, then let it go. And if you see the thoughts still in your mind, you go again in, close your eyes very tight. Do that several times. Before you know, anger will be gone or much more diminished. Second tip. Third one. If you're angry because you had an argument with someone, you had a discussion, leave that place. Go somewhere else. Take a walk. Because if you stay in the same place with that negative energy around you, anger is going to continue, very likely. So go away, take a walk, go somewhere else, but don't stay in the same place. But please do that. You are listening to me, and I don't know what you are thinking. Oh, that is so simple. Yes, it's very simple. I warned you. I told you it was going to be very simple. But it's very, very powerful. Another tip. Lay down. If you are angry and you cannot forgive and forget something someone did to you, lay down. Lay down even on the floor if you need to. Just lay down. Why? In our body, there is some kind of mechanism that is very hard to be angry or fight when we are laying down. If you're laying down and you have an angry thought, the first thing that you do is you tend to get up. If you do the opposite on purpose and you just lay down, just laying down will help you to decrease the anger. Don't stay up. When you are angry, don't stay up. Lay down anywhere you can. And there is one more thing that you can do when you are laying down. If you can do that also with the laying down, that will be great. You can use your breathing to slow down your anger. How do you do that? Slow down your breathing. Slow down the way you breathe. When we are angry, what do? Quick, superficial, chest breathing. Let's do the opposite. Slow, abdominal, deep breathing. Most of us are always breathing with the chest, unfortunately. Most of the time we breathe with the chest. We need to learn again how to breathe with the belly, with the bottom. That is the healthy breathing. That is the normal way. Have you seen babies when they are sleeping, so pleasantly sleeping? Have you seen how the belly goes up and down? Babies, little babies, it goes up and down, up and down. They don't breathe with the chest. They breathe with the abdomen. And this is the normal way. This is the way how we should do it. But somehow with life and years, we stop doing that healthy belly breathing and we go to unhealthy chest breathing and we forget. Also animals. If you have animals in your home, when you go back home tonight, observe them when they are laying down sleeping or just resting. What is it that is moving? The belly. Only the belly. Animals don't breathe without the chest. They breathe with the belly. So try to learn to do belly, slow, deep breathing. Another tip is that you can drink a cold glass of water or take a cool shower. The temperature of the water going inside your body or going in your outside of your body will calm you down. You might have heard some of these things before. You may know that. But anyways, I wanted to bring it to your attention. Why? Because, as I said before, I don't want you to get the mistake that you are doing something so simple that it's not going to work. It's going to work. And now, to finish, we are going to have a few minutes, after I am done in a minute, about what is important for you to do next. I wish I could have had 6 hours to tell you everything about anger, but unfortunately I didn't. But I told you enough for you to put into practice some things that will be very, very helpful. And I want to stress the idea to put into practice. If you heard something that I said that you liked, put it into practice. If you heard something that you think it can help you, put it into practice. Otherwise, it will not work. So I'm going to finish with one phrase. You might have heard that before. If not you, who? If not now, when? Thank you very much.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ τον κύριο Γκόμες. Εάν έχετε, ο χρόνος είναι πολύ περιορισμένος, αλλά αν μπορείτε να κάνετε στοχευμένες ερωτήσεις και όχι τοποθετήσεις, ευχαρίστως. Από το κοινό, το θέμα του θυμού δεν μας απασχολεί καθόλου, βλέπω. Α, εσείς, οκ, ωραία.
Γεια σας και πάλι. Θα ήθελα να ρωτήσω τον κύριο Γκόμες τι γίνεται όταν κάποιος προκαλεί το θυμό μας και του αρέσει.
Now I am scared. Let me see what you asked.
If someone is provoking our anger and he or she really likes it, what are we going to do then?
If who relaxes, her or the other person?
No, one person provokes her anger.
Right?
Okay, what is she going to do to face this attitude?
At that very moment?
And
Okay.
that he's always doing the same thing, like liking him or her to provoke this anger
All the
again and
time.
again.
What you can do is exactly the same things that I told you to do. Go in front of the mirror. Walk away if someone is provoking you, if you can do that. Lay down. All of the things. By the way, does everyone remembers at least 5 things that I told you to do? I am asking you, you know why? Your question is very good. Why? I have been, this is only about half an hour, 45 minutes. I have given complete workshops on anger management for 6 to 8 hours, the whole day. This happened for true, for real, in Florida. I gave one time in Tampa, Florida. And that night, one of the ladies there got my phone, I don't know how, called me and asked me the same question. And I said, have you put into practice what I have taught you? No, because the problem is with my husband. He's the one who has an angry problem. I don't need to do all of that. Well, let me tell you this. When we change, most of the time, other people will change. And even if they don't change, if you practice those simple things, even if they keep bothering you, they will reach the point when they see they are not affecting you, that you are calm, that you are relaxed, that they are not going to bug you, so they will stop bothering you that way. And if they don't, that's okay, because your inner peace doesn't have to depend in what other people do to you. Doesn't have to. Okay.
Σας ευχαριστούμε. Ένα θερμό χειροκρότημα για τον κύριο Γκόμες. Thank you very much, Mr. Gomez.
All right, thank you.
Muchas gracias.